One of the longest things about this last year is that I've been reading all these quotes that people are attributing to me that I've never said. I mean, clearly I had this story, I had a rough draft of it by the beginning of 2004. So before I ever did a tour or answered any questions or did an interview, I knew where the story was going. So I was always really, really careful about what I said. And the only thing I ever said when people said, hey, can vampires have babies? I always said no, because, you know, female vampires don't change at all. And it takes a lot of change for your body to accommodate a fetus. So it's not possible. But I never said anything about the part that I knew was coming, and people made a lot of assumptions. So I think they were really taken aback because they have read, Stephenie said this can't happen, and they're thinking that, like, I made this up later on in the game, but that wasn't actually the fact. It was that I never said those things. That was one of those things where I was trying to be really careful about it, and it is true, you know, that things have changed a lot, and there's a whole chromosomal count difference, but the venom works in a lot of different ways, and so for me it always worked just fine. I read something that really made me laugh. There was someone going on about, we all know it's not possible for vampires to have babies, so this is just ridiculous. And the next person got on and said, you realize we're talking about vampires here, right? They're fictional, so there's that aspect too. It was unique to her character. Out of all the characters in the whole universe of Twilight, the vegetarian vampires, none of them knew what they were getting into. They didn't even know vampires existed. So they wake up, and the first thing they have is this overwhelming thirst, and they're very reactive. Bella's really the only vampire who went into it knowing what to expect, being mentally prepared, and on guard for her reactions. And she's a naturally stubborn person, which helps when you make up your mind to do something. It's an asset. With the other vampires, they knew what they were going to become, but they wanted that, and they never thought, well, I'm going to try really hard not to hunt humans. They just accepted what was going on. So she's quite unique in her preparation. It represents Bella and Bella. This cover, one of the reasons why I love it, and I was so happy when we finally came up with the concept, is that it's the whole book series on one cover. Bella starts out as the weakest player on the board, and she ends up as the one that decides the outcome of the story. She becomes the most powerful player, and I really liked that metaphor. I liked seeing her evolution in one picture.